Okay, so this next lesson is going to be on industrialization, the rise of industrialization, which is going to lead to urbanization. Okay, and the rise of cities. So this is going to cover 16 and 17 on the U.S. History Terms Review. 4 minutes, 26 seconds.
In a new country, the rapid growth of cities is both natural and necessary, for no efficient industrial organization of a new settlement is possible without industrial centers to carry on the necessary work of assembling and distributing goods.
When Adna Weber explained the rise of American cities to the readers of Scribner's in 1899, the United States was in the midst of a great wave of city building. Whereas only 14 cities had more than 60,000 people in 1860, 11 cities now boasted more than 250,000. Chicago's population had doubled every decade, topping more than 1 million by 1890. Before the Civil War, manufacturing centered in the nation's countryside, along the streams and rivers whose water powered most industrial machinery. Steam engines and electricity freed manufacturers from having to reside near water power, so industry moved to cities, where energy, labor, consumers, and transportation were all close at hand.
The huge businesses, whether they are steel plants or agricultural machine plants, eventually car factories, had to be located in areas where there were populations of people and where there could be increased populations of people. And that's why you see these mass production plants siting themselves in existing cities.
By the dawn of the 20th century, more than 90% of all American production took place in cities. The largest cities were found in the Northeast and Midwest, where industrialization was the fastest. But cities were also growing in the South and West, serving as processing centers for regional industries. Minneapolis specialized in flour milling, Pittsburgh in coal and iron, Seattle in fish and timber. In the same way that national...
1 second. Just for the pause, someone came in the room. Here we go.
Sparked westward settlement, new innovations in mass transit enabled cities to expand into the adjacent countryside. While poorer families still clustered close to their workplaces, electrified streetcars took managers and other professionals to new residential neighborhoods on the outskirts of town.
As new immigrants came into the cities, you began to see a kind of segregation between wealthier people in the cities who had their own sections of the city. More people with more money in their families tended to move outside of the cities into little villages or towns that became suburban areas much later on. It may be a little more difficult for us to attend the opera, but the robin in my elm tree struck a higher note and a sweeter one yesterday than any prima donna ever reached.
The streetcars that moved people out of the city brought them back in for business, pleasure, and shopping. Department stores with their alluring window displays, personalized service, and incredible variety showcased the finished products of American industrialization, newly available and abundant consumer goods. Cities themselves became giant consumers of heavy industrial goods used in their construction: bricks, steel, glass, machines, and wire. At the dawn of the 20th century, the United States was an industrial colossus, a nationally integrated economic system of ranches, farms, factories, and cities. Americans were proud of what they had accomplished and looked forward to a world in which industry and science would soon solve the age-old problems of poverty and human suffering. But progress came with a price.
But in the late 19th century, this country was hell-bent on exploiting its resources and people getting ahead. So getting ahead, sometimes they left behind the environment.
Okay, and so that was the rise of cities. So number 16, industrialization, and 17, urbanization, the growth of large cities that we see here. Okay?